Welcome into the CrownCast, the NOVUS CrownCast. It's Chris Honorado with you for each of these episodes. And now, finally, some professionalism from the ownership level with our guy, Scott Klimchak. Scott, finally, man, get rid of the Bernardo boys for a little bit, and let's bring in what I would say is the third owner, but really you're a Jersey guy, so you're the first one.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, I'm excited to be here. Excited to get Ross on. Obviously, being a Scarlet Knight, it means a lot to me. So it's my alma mater. So it's a great first podcast for me to hop on for sure.
And if you're watching, you see Ross Scott. If you're listening to us on Apple, Spotify, or Amazon, Ross is a stud lacrosse player for the nationally ranked Rutgers men's program. And we'll get through his incredible credentials that he's already piled up with the Scarlet Knights. But I'll tell you what, the Garden State pull is strong, is it not? I mean, all the way from Oregon now to Piscataway, New Jersey. Ross, thanks for jumping on the CrownCast, man. How are you?
I'm good. Glad to be here finally. You said it yourself. The Garden State poll is big. I could not stay away. As soon as I saw the campus, I had to be here.
Yeah, clearly. All right, Scott, give us some insight here. What is it about the Rutgers program that is able to pull players all the way from the West Coast?
Yeah, for sure. So, even going back to when I was getting recruited, I never really knew what Rutgers was all about until I stepped foot on campus. And I think Ross could say the same thing. You know, sometimes you hear about Rutgers, you might hear certain things and whatnot, but until you actually get there, get on campus and, meet the coaching staff and then really see the facilities, which are unbelievable. It's just a major draw. Going to the Final Four last year, that should help a little bit right now. But honestly, top program in the country year after year. And then, like I said, once you get on campus, meet the coaching staff, meet the guys. Most importantly, too, the types of players that Rutgers is getting right now, the types of people that they're getting. It's an amazing place to be. I just got back on campus a couple weeks ago. I'm heavily involved with the alumni. So just getting back on campus, seeing the facilities now and everything that's there that Rutgers offers, it's just unbelievable. And it's come a long way for sure.
Ross, we'll dive into your relationship here with NOVUS, but I want to talk about the year so far since we are in lacrosse season. Scott said it all the way to the Final Four last year. You guys play, obviously, a very soft schedule. It's like every single week it's a ranked opponent. I mean, it's a gauntlet of teams that you're facing. It's crazy, man. I was looking at it earlier before we hopped on here. 7-2 this year, and it's just brutal game after brutal game. You're in the stretch of a 3 straight on the road, which certainly doesn't make it easy. Where is this team compared to last year? Obviously, I'm sure the expectations were really high. Where do you feel like you guys are with about a month to go before what'll be the Big Ten tournament?
Yeah, I think year after year, our mentality doesn't really change. I think Rutgers always has kind of an underdog kind of feeling to it, and we all come in and we want to be the underdogs. We want people to think down upon us because we want to come out and we want to prove guys wrong in night after night. So it's hard, comparing to last year because we got a lot of new guys, new faces every single year. And we're just trying to be our own team this year. We don't really want to think about last year's Final Four. That's the bar now. Like that's what we want to now surpass. So just trying to raise the bar this year, do everything we can, do the little things right. We lost one last week, so we want to come back out this week against another ranked opponent and show the nation what we're about. So it's nothing new here. We like being the underdogs, and we like proving people wrong. So should be a fun one.
All right, Ross, you had 50 goals last year, ties a program record for a single season. You had 75 points. That's second all time for a single season. Where do you feel like your game is? You came on campus. At least, and you started there as a midi. I don't know if you played attack in high school, but you've transitioned from midi to not just attack, but one of the best attack players in the country. How do you feel like you're doing now?
Yeah, I think Rutgers has given me a lot of opportunities to be able to expand my game coming in here as a freshman from Oregon, not really a hotbed state for lacrosse. I didn't know a lot about like how to play with other players. I knew how to cradle the ball. I knew how to take the ball to the hoop by myself, but I never really played within a real system. So I was lucky enough to the coaches had some patience with me, and they stuck with me and taught me a lot. So just getting to the level that I am now, and I just want to keep taking it up levels and learn how to bring my teammates along with me and help them play. So whatever I can do, I want to do.
Lacrosse is kind of a beautiful sport in that, Scott, what are you, 6'3"?
Yeah, just about.
Okay. And Ross, how tall are you?
I'm 5'8", so
yeah. I mean, it's a sport that, you can play the same position, right, at very different sizes, Scott.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, everyone brings a different value or a different aspect of their game to the table, and it's a game of pieces. It's a sum of the parts, right? So, maybe a guy is smaller and shifty and can get to the hoop, but then there's other guys that, like myself, I hung around the crease area a little bit and was fortunate enough to, have good hands and be able to finish the ball. So there's just, it's a sum of parts for sure.
By the way, Scott, 8th all time on the Rutgers goal scoring list. You graduated as 6th, I think, Scotty. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. So I think I'll keep dropping as guys like Ross keep having great years, which is great because I'm the happiest for Ross, and it couldn't be anyone better to kind of jump in front of me there.
I was going to say, hopefully Ross doesn't pass you. You don't have to fire him as a brand ambassador. A novice athlete here. Yeah.
No, like I said, if anyone's going to do it, Ross is the guy.
A couple of quick 518 connections here for the crowd from the Albany area that's listening or watching. Brian Breck, former Siena head coach, now obviously coached both of you guys at Rutgers. And Scotty, you played with a member of the Albany Firewolves at Rutgers, Joe Nardella.
That's correct.
So for the 518ers listening, a little bit of that connection here too. Ross, what has it meant to you to be a captain on this team? Obviously, I know you're a senior, and a lot of times it goes to an upperclassman or a group of upperclassmen, but to be named a captain, from your words, somebody who said he didn't know how to play with teammates before, to now lead a team, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, it's really one of the greatest honors I've ever had in my life. It's a very humbling experience being chosen by, the other 45 guys on the team. And, just the fact that some guys think of me at that sort of level really wants me to kind of elevate my game and my leadership in any way that I can and help bring guys along, whether it's freshmen that were in my shoes 4 years ago or guys in my class that we're still just learning together. So it's really a great honor, and knowing the captains before, it really means a lot, and I know how special those guys were to me. So I'm just trying to do my best to be as good as them and help this team bring along a long season.
Scott, what is it about Ross that makes him a good leader? You were a leader at Rutgers yourself. You won the William Miller Award, which is given out to a Rutgers player every single year for leadership in qualities. What is it about our guy here, Ross, that you say, yeah, he can lead a top-ranked program?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think most importantly, it's not just him as a player, right? There's a lot of great players out there, but it's the type of person he is, right? So bringing younger guys under his wing, I mean, I see it. I'm still involved, like I said, in coaching and as a Rutgers alum, and I'm around Rutgers often, and I see how he carries himself, how some of the younger guys that actually I've coached that now, go to Rutgers, and Ross brings them under his wing. Like that, those types of things are extremely important as a leader, as an older member of the team, and as a captain, right? Is bringing the younger guys, under your wing. You were in their shoes a couple years ago. Hopefully you had guys like that did that for you. And then now it's kind of your turn to give back. And, bring those guys along. And I think that's the most important thing. And I see that in Ross, obviously. Like I said, I'm around the facilities often. I see what he's doing with the younger guys, and it's something special. And it's the stuff off the field that definitely helps.
Ross, you're a deep member of the Novice family, man. Not only are you a Novice athlete, but you were a Novice intern.
Oh, yeah.
I'll get to that in a moment. I want to talk about the Novice athlete part first here. Obviously, there is the Rutgers connection here between you and Scott. But what is it about this brand that drew you to it to say, you know what, in this world of NIL, a lot of opportunities out there, a lot of things that could be some waters that could be charted. Why Novice?
Yeah, Novice really inspires me because I love just like the small beginnings background of it, where Scott and Garrett and Nick were slinging tank tops out of their little apartment, and eventually it's grown to be this huge and continues to grow company that that supplies to youth programs, high school programs, just anything you want, and that really inspires me, and I love kind of the creativity they bring to the game and how they're always trying to level up their style. And it just really inspires me, and I love the work they're doing. And I'd like to be with Novice for as long as I can.
Scott, why Ross? Why you guys really have shown here that you can dictate the athletes you work with. You can be picky, is what I'm saying here.
Sure.
So what is it about Ross, and maybe it applies to the way his captaincy as well, that makes him a good Novice athlete?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I had kind of mentioned before, the type of person he is. I'm lucky enough to get to spend some time with him. He coaches some of the programs that I coach with. I got to learn who he was as a person. Obviously, everyone gets to see what type of player he is on the field, and he's one of the best. And that's what we look for, right? We want someone that's not only the best on the field, but someone that we can relate to off of the field, And like Ross actually mentioned, he was an intern. He started slinging some hats, in his apartment now. Like it's almost like come full circle where, that's where Novice started, right? So started in the Birchwood Apartments on Rutgers campus, and selling hats and tank tops and T-shirts, and who knew we'd be here today? Now we have Ross kind of on board as an athlete. He was interning. It's kind of come full circle. So it was definitely a natural fit. We had him come intern, and then, we knew we were going to end up signing him to an NIL deal. It was just kind of get him through the internship, let him learn who what we're about, and then kind of get him in and, celebrate his success both on the field, and then, like I said, great person off the field. So it was just a natural fit.
Dude, you were an All-American last year, Tewaaraton watch list guy to intern. What's up? Didn't you go to the office and be like, look at the resume, guys, intern? Come on.
No, it was awesome. I was able to get down there a few times while the office was still being built. So it was an awesome experience. Got to meet the whole crew. They're all amazing to me and showed me a lot of support. So I love it down there in Saratoga, and I hope to be back soon this summer, because it's a really awesome place, and the culture they got at the office is just like none other. So it's a cool place to be, and I'm excited to be working with them.
Yeah, you got to make sure you're obviously in town for the Cat 13 will be happening this summer with Novice, that volleyball tournament that raises so much money for great causes. Obviously, Scott, near and dear to your heart, and what you guys have been able to do in terms of raising money for the American Cancer Society most recently. All right, Ross, talk to us about your internship, though, here. I mean, what are the aspirations when you're no longer playing lacrosse? Does it apply to something in Novice's world? Do you see yourself coaching? And I'm not rushing your career away here, but I'm just curious what you're already thinking ahead in kind of the business world.
Yeah, I try to think ahead as much as I can, but it's hard when you're in the middle of the season. You're still working towards that goal of winning the games every weekend. But I like to stay in sports or anything around that for as long as I can. I can't remember a time in my life where I didn't have have sports all around me and working towards something. So I'd like to stay in that kind of area. But whatever comes at me, I'm willing to deal with, and I'm just trying to take things one at a time.
I want to ask you about the influence that lacrosse has across the country now, right? Like when I was growing up, I'm old. When I was growing up, it was Mid-Atlantic and some Northeast. Now, obviously, it's huge in the Northeast. It continues to be huge in the Mid-Atlantic. But you have teams like Denver contending every year for a national championship. Notre Dame, it made its way to the Midwest. Here you are, a kid from Oregon. How early on in life did you have a lacrosse stick in your hand?
Yeah, I didn't even really know what lacrosse was until being from Oregon, until I went to my neighbor's house and they were all playing around with lacrosse sticks. It was my mom's best friend. Her kids were a little bit older, and they handed me my first lacrosse stick. I think it had zip ties all around it. It wasn't even strung upright. And as soon as I touched a stick, I had played hockey before, so I just loved the competitive nature of the sport. I got to hit people. I got to run around, get out all my ADHD. And, it was a ton of fun. I think that's just what's been the hook for so many people around the country and even the world. It's just such a great sport that's so fast paced, and you never get the same thing twice. So it's truly growing around the world. Oregon has so many great players now. When we were growing up, it was just, a few guys would go to college here and there. Now it's like every team has guys that are going to play in college, and California, it's huge. It's really exciting to see, and I can't wait to see where the sport is to go.
There's some great parallels, Scott, that you have with your athletes here. One of our first CrownCasts was with Therese Cannon, who is a Team USA volleyball player, who told the story about how she left a scholarship at Georgetown to walk on at USC, going from indoor to outdoor volleyball. Didn't know a lot about outdoor volleyball, took a chance on herself because it's what she believed she was really meant to do. That obviously worked out for her. I'm hearing Ross's story here about didn't know what lacrosse really was, and showed up on Rutgers campus and wasn't really sure how to play the game, what a coach might say is the right way to play the game. You were a guy, obviously, you have the build and the athleticism to have been a Division I athlete, but what goes through your mind when you hear these stories of kind of believing in themselves, taking a chance, and obviously working out?
Yeah, I think it's amazing. I mean, just the fact that, they're betting on themselves. They know more than anyone. They're not going to let kind of anyone else tell them what they can or can't do or can't accomplish. So I think just being able to bet on yourself, know what you're capable of doing, and then most importantly, like putting in the work to actually get to where you want to go is super important, obviously. So just, betting on yourself, there's nothing better than that, especially when you see success at the end of the road. Which
there's a little bit of novice in that, isn't there? A little bit of novice in that, isn't there?
For sure. Yep. I mean, who knew we were, like you said, selling tank tops and T-shirts on a college campus, and then now here we are 11 years later. I saw a Facebook memory of 11 years ago, selling a tank top on Facebook for $15 to friends and family, and here we are. Just came off a great weekend. Had Harrison Bucker, two-time Super Bowl champ in town. Lots of exciting news coming out about Bucker with NOVUS. So we're excited to get that out to everybody. But it's just come a long, long way, and it's been an awesome ride. So I'm happy to bring Ross along for the ride, get him involved with NOVUS as much as physically possible, and see where it goes.
Ross, what would you say to a young athlete who may be hesitant to try something new, or doesn't believe they're big enough, good enough, whatever it is, to achieve a certain level of success that the two guys on this podcast have achieved? Yeah,
I mean, the number one thing I would say is just to keep on working. The more you work, the more you'll separate yourself from the competition. I think, going to a Division I schools is when I realized that, wow, I have to work this much harder to be able to be successful. And I think that if I would have started that at another level, at another younger age, then I would have been, better off. And some guys realize that earlier than I did. And it's really powerful. So if you just keep on working, you keep betting on yourself, you stay positive. I think some guys get discouraged when they make mistakes and all that, but when you're young, it's the time to make mistakes, and you can always bounce back, and I love it. So just put your head down and you work and you enjoy every single moment of it, because you don't really get those days back. So I would just say hard work just beats everything, and you keep doing that, you can do anything you want.
The NLL is a well-established league, and the PLL just continues to blow up every single year, bigger and bigger. How much are you thinking about pro lacrosse?
Yeah, that'd be a dream come true to be able to play in either of those leagues. And but just like what we were talking about before, it starts with work. I gotta keep doing whatever I do and putting my head down and working, and eventually, hopefully I can get to that level. But as of right now, I'm just trying to work on winning the games that are in front of me.
All right, what does New Jersey have that Oregon doesn't, that you'll miss if you go back home? Is it the pizza? Is it the bagels? What's Jersey got that tops Oregon?
So many. Okay, pizza 1, bagels 2, diners. Oregon doesn't really have diners.
Diners, yeah, man.
Italian, like actual Italian food, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I could
How about
go
malls? Malls. Jersey is like the land of shopping malls. I don't know if people even go to the mall anymore.
Yeah,
Go to the mall anymore? Yeah.
Jersey's got all the strip malls and stuff, and the shopping malls and everywhere. Oregon's got some, here and there. I got to go like 25 minutes to get to the closest one. I love Jersey. I don't know if I'll be leaving, so we'll see.
What do you miss about home, though?
I miss
say family.
A lot.
Don't say family.
I know. Yeah, I was gonna say they're already back here right now, so we're good right now. What I miss about home is, I think Oregon has like a distinct beauty that not a lot of places get. Everywhere you look, there's trees, there's mountains surrounding you. Missing home a little bit because I could walk down and get to the river. I know you can do that in some places in Jersey, but I'd walk outside in the morning, enjoy my cup of coffee, and just kind of look at the mountains around and stuff. So that's the little bit I miss about home, but I always get to visit when I'm back in the summer. So,
Scotty, before I wrap, man, what else do you have for our guy? Anything?
Man, I don't know. I didn't really prepare any questions for him. I think he covered a lot on his own. Like I said, I just can't say enough great things about having Ross on board. From the early beginnings, he was asking the right questions, genuinely interested in novice, which is super important to us, myself, Nick, Garrett. His internship wasn't just a check the box, get an internship, get the college credits and move on. He's genuinely interested in what we're doing, being involved, and it shows. So we really appreciate that, obviously.
I love that. Could you post him up pretty good along the crease?
I don't know. I think we would have played well together. I mean, he could find me in there. I'm sure I'd give him a couple. He'd get a bunch of assists, I'm sure.
I love that. Well, Ross, the gauntlet continues, man. As we post this podcast, you guys will be getting ready for Johns Hopkins. It doesn't stop, man. When you play high-level Division I lacrosse, it's every single weekend. You've got to get up. It's a good thing you get 5 or 6 days in between games. So Hopkins this weekend, man, best of luck at 7-2. Keep pushing towards that conference tournament. And I know we'll be seeing you in middle to late May for sure.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, guys. Yeah.
Keep claiming that crown, man.